looking at leisure demand, which, obviously they have been relying on, still seeing a lag in business demand as well, though. How are you expecting those two areas to fare as we go into the second and third quarters?
Well, business travel is not going to come back. Look, 10 years ago, as recently as 10 years ago, you had to bring the papers from Hartford to New York to meet with the boss. Today, the boss already has that information. In other words, what we're doing right here by video is replacing a lot of business travel that used to be there. Air travel is not as efficient or as time effective as it used to be compared to other modalities. But the big issue here is leisure travel, which it seems to us on this end that the vulnerability of leisure travel is a lot less than it was before. I think leisure travel is a lot higher on the spend food chain than it was, say, 10 years ago. So I think that's going to hold out. We just don't know what inflation is going to do.
So then are we back now to the more traditional travel periods, given that we had that sort of pent-up backlog of sort of travel demand coming off of the back of COVID? Have we got to return now to the usual travel periods?
I think the usual travel spikes and valleys, but again, the mix of travelers is going to be different. Short-haul business travel is out because it's a very ineffective way of doing business. A lot of leisure travel. Take a look at these carriers like Avella. They're doing very well, as close as we can tell. You've got Spirit, you've got Frontier. They're after a sector of the market, and when that sector starts to go, we'll know more. But right now, it's still relatively strong. So I think we're back to a situation where we have two parallel airline systems. One is the ULCCs that go after totally leisure traffic, and the second are carriers like Delta and American, United, Southwest that go after a mix of travel.
So are you expecting the same level of volatility? You mentioned some of these ULCCs, that does include a Spirit, a Frontier, Allegiant, Avella, as you mentioned there.
Yeah, I think, again, as long as discretionary dollars hold in terms of and how people spend them, those carriers are going to be fine because they've done very well entering new markets. I mean, the ability to spike traffic to Florida is just astounding to me. Just absolutely astounding. But that means that people are willing to spend on that, even if they can't afford an egg for breakfast.